God bless you. I'm Dr. Gene James from the Valley of the Sun. I'm going to talk to you today about becoming healthy and staying healthy. When was the last time that you were really, really healthy? When you felt that you were in your best shape possible? Think about what was your lifestyle like? What were you doing at that time? What was your diet like? What kind of activity level did you have? If that was what you did to bring you to good health, you're going to have to retrace and start some of those healthy habits in order to become healthy again. Becoming healthy is not a matter of just deciding that I need to do something about it. We make those decisions every year. We come up with those New Year's resolutions that I'm going to change things, I'm going to change how I eat, I'm going to exercise. But then become February or March, we start to lose those resolutions. We start to get back into those unhealthy eating habits. So to become healthy, some simple things you're going to do. How do I become healthy? The first thing is buy a journal. A journal is going to be your best friend when it comes to being healthy. Find out what you're doing. Write down the things that you're eating. Write down your activity level and start to eliminate certain things that you know that is unhealthy. Write down everything you've eaten over the last 3 or 4 days, and once you look at that, you recognize I have to eliminate some of those high sugar, high fat, high cholesterol foods, and that will be the first track. So your diet will be journaled. Your activity level should be journaled. What things do I do every day? If you went to grocery shopping, you would list grocery shopping. If you did laundry, list that as doing laundry. If you watch TV, put down how long you watch TV. Because you're going to find out that you may spend a lot of time that could be great exercise time, that you've developed a poor pattern of doing something like watching TV or just sitting around doing nothing or on the telephone. Your journal is going to be your best friend. Once you get your journal there, start journaling as you change and start bringing in healthy things. If you change your diet, if you start eating egg whites in the morning, or we talked about protein once before, you start eating those things that are really healthy, track for 1 week what your result is. If you notice within 1 week a drastic improvement, your journal will reflect that. Now you know how to tailor your diet and activities so that you continue to achieve that result. But if you don't journal, you'll forget what works. You'll forget the things that's getting you there. So your journal is very important. The next thing is association. When the people that you associate with. When I first started working out many years ago, I was working out at home, and I made a certain level of progress. But once my progress began to level off, I had to find out how to go to the next level. So what I did was I joined a gym. My first thing I joined was a fitness club. And that's where you go in and everybody's basically a family fitness atmosphere. And it was good, but it didn't really give me the result I wanted. And then I went to a hardcore training gym. And that's where you go into those gyms and everybody's training hard. Everybody has an intense goal, and they're really focused on what they want to achieve. As they began focusing on their goal, I became inspired by the people that I saw. I saw people that were really motivated on achieving their goal. So what you would do is you would find someone who has a similar desire to achieve the goal that you want. Maybe you want to lose weight. Get with another friend and you inspire one another. You set a plan on when you're going to walk or when you're going to exercise. You may shop together. But association brings assimilation. You're going to inspire one another with the results that you get. Once you start achieving those results, continue on that track. Join a gym where there's others. Maybe join a bigger club or a Weight Watchers group where you're getting around others who are really focused on achieving a particular goal. So journaling, then associations. After that, you're going to look at your mental well-being. So often when we're confused or when there's things that's going on in our life that create stress, we tend to overeat. What are the stresses in my life? What are the habit patterns I must break that keeps me from being healthy? Many times when you grow up in our home, our eating may not have been as healthy as it should have been. What was established was poor eating practices. And then we get older, we start creating stress of work, children, marriage, relationships, just different things going on in the world, economy, you name it, that creates stress. As you become more and more mentally, I would say, challenged to where we have more and more things going on, that creates stress in our lives. Then we get into emotional eating. Eating becomes a source of comfort for us. We just had a stressed out day at the office. What do? We come home and we grab those donuts or whatever because it feels good. High fat foods, high sugar foods, they're soothing to us, and it tends to make us feel more comforted and more nourished. We have this sense of being full and a sense of well-being. But if you continue with that kind of diet, you become more and more unhealthy. So you find out, how do you establish that mentally, emotionally, balance yourself mentally and emotionally. And next is spiritually. When you have spiritual balance within yourself, when you have a great spiritual base, you're able to establish strength, and a strength that you didn't have before. I began reading my Bible daily. When I began doing that, I found out it created a balance between my emotional instability. My spiritual stability and spiritual growth began to create and balance that emotional stress that I was having. When I began to do that, I began to become more and more healthy, because I started to eliminate a lot of that negative thinking, because I became more spirit-minded. What you think about, you bring about. What you focus on, you think about. What you think about, you bring about. As I began to focus on things that were of Christ and things that were good for me, I began to just eliminate those things that were unhealthy and things that were unsafe. So once I become healthy, how do you stay healthy? You know, when you get in shape, it seems like, well, I'm here, now I can go back to doing whatever I want. That's not the case. Once you become healthy, you have to continue along the track to maintain whatever it is that you want. If you become unhealthy, it's because you've reestablished unhealthy practices. Again, go back to that journal. What was it I wrote down that was making me healthy? Go back. Where did I make my best progress? Look at that and get back to that same diet plan that got you the progress. What kind of exercises were you doing? Trace those back. Do some retracing. In order to stay healthy, you're basically going to reinforce the things that are good and healthy for you. Those associations are so important. The things that you're doing that get you healthy. Get around people and stay around those friends that make you healthy. You notice if you go out of town, what do you do when you go out of town? You go out of town, you figure, well, I'm not going to have my regular diet when I'm out of town. I'm out of town, and I'm going to eat whatever I want. And that seems to be okay. It's harmless to have one meal or so. But what happens is we tend to lose the discipline of healthy eating. Have you ever noticed that when you miss one day of exercise, or one day of eating healthfully, how many days does it take to get really back on track? And if you go for a whole week of not exercising because you're on vacation, or not eating properly because you're on vacation, you notice it takes sometimes weeks if you ever get back on track. So maintain a discipline so that you can stay healthy once you become healthy. If you're going out to eat, you can have maybe one meal a week. That's what I found. One meal a week, I can have whatever I want. And then once I have that meal, I know immediately go back to my fruits and vegetables, the things that keeps me healthy. Good, healthy fruits, vegetables, lean meats, making sure that you're eating at least 4 times per day, small meals, at least 4 times per day. Do not eat at least 3 hours before bedtime. Your last meal, if you go to bed at 10, your last meal should be at 7. So don't eat those late night snacks. Avoid snacking if you're on the computer. Don't eat when you have a lot of work to do because you're just eating it to support what you're doing because you're bored. Space your meals out. Have regular timing during the day to which you eat. Exercise regularly. Once you become healthy, you're going to encourage others around you. And they're watching you. They're going to be motivated and inspired by how healthy you are. So what you do, when you fall off, it's like a domino effect. When you fall off your diet, others behind you fall off. Healthy parents brings healthy children. When I start to eat right, I notice my children naturally don't eat a lot of the junk food that other kids do. So I'm establishing a pattern for myself and my children. Dr. Gene James, God bless you. Healthy eating, become healthy. Amen.